Hey everybody, would you like to hear a story from the beach? It's getting a little better now. I'm going to tell you a story. Tell a story of a famous historical figure in Japan, Hiroshige Ando. He was basically one of the most famous woodblock print artists of the Edo period. And he made the famous 53, is it 53, 57, 58, 20, 26? I think it's 53 stages of the Tokaido, among many other famous prints. You know, we did the prints, the woodblock prints of, the 53 stations along the old Tokaido Highway. And though he was a married man and born of an elite family up there in the Edo area, Tokyo. Edo, Tokyo's up there, Kyoto's down here, Shizuoka, Shimizu are across here. I'm on a peninsula. I'm on a spit of land, a spit of sand that reaches out into the Suruga Bay. I'm here. It's dawn. The sun is coming up. It's cold as heck. It was snowing just a while ago, believe it or not. And I'm here, and this beautiful sand beach. The Mount Fuji's over there. My camera's running over there, doing a big time lapse right now. It's been running for an hour. I've just been wandering around the beach with my camera doing this stuff, looking at the famous, the beautiful sight of ships fishing out there. Amazing. Anyway, back to my story. So Hiroshige Ando, one of the most famous artists of the Japanese Edo period, he used to leave his family and go wandering, traipsing about on Japan's roads, like the Tokaido Highway, painting the inspirational or drawing, sketching the inspirational scenes that he would find. He would take that back to his publisher, and his publisher would then take those sketches, and woodblock print artists would then take those and render those into blocks, which could then be printed and duplicated and made in mass. You know how they do it, the woodblock printing thing. Anyway, so his job, he got the greatest job of all. I mean, great. He would wander around these great old places and sketch things, and he loved to come to this spot right here to paint Mount Fuji, or sketch Mount Fuji, which is right over there. You can't see it right now; the clouds are covering it. But he would love this spot. He said this was the best spot in all of Japan. You can't see Mount Fuji from all of Japan, but from all the various locations that you can see Mount Fuji, he said this was the best spot to see it. And I agree. And I come here now to film it this morning, but the clouds have been in the way. But hopefully I'm getting a great sunrise. Anyway, back to my story. He described one time, he used to come here and he would stay at Okitsu sometimes, which is across the way here, across the harbor over there, ways over there, and he would stay there. And I remember reading about his description of how one day he took a little day trip out to the Miho Peninsula, where I am right now. And back then it was just a little fishing village out here. There was a shrine out there and stuff like that, but a little fishing village. And these sands were very famous. And he said that it took him all day to get out here and spend the day and then go back to Okitsu where he was staying. And he came out here, and he got a fisherman to cook a fish for him in a special way that was done in this area. Well, I guess they do it all over Japan, but especially here. He took this whole fish and he buried it in the sand here. I don't know if it was here on the other side, on the harbor side. I don't know, but he buried it in the sand here. And he talked about these pines, and when he was describing, he walked through these pines, and he buried it in the sand. And then, well, look at this. How coincidental! How lucky you find. I don't know what this is. Here's ash. Look at this ash from fire. Something like this, something just like this, where he serendipity, where he buried it in the sand. Well, first take this giant fish, this big fish. I don't know how big it was, but a fish, and encase it in salt and like a big block of salt. Pack it in, bury it in the coals, and let it cook for hours in the sand here, in this warm sand. And by the way, people bury themselves in the sand right over there in the summertime, because this sand gets really hot. The black sand, dark sand like this, not quite black, and they bury themselves as kind of like a hot spring thing to do right over there. And then you see them with the shovels and their heads sticking out, and whole lines of Japanese people buried. Would you look at that? Look at that. Look at the sun coming through that cloud there. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't it look like a donut? That's really cool. I like that. So anyway, I've got 3 stories of things going on at once. Back on target, Kurt. So Hiroshige Ando had it buried somewhere, not here, but around here, and then it cooked, and then he described breaking it out, digging it out of the ground. The fisherman did all this for him. He was just sitting by, dig it out and crack that salt open, and imagine this big fish cooked in a case of salt in the sand for a long time. Can you imagine that salty goodness? And then he described eating that fish on the sand, coming out here to see Mount Fuji, which is over there. And he said it was one of the best, tasty, yummiest culinary experiences of his life. I don't know if you can see it. It's just amazing. Can you guys see the spots? There's no zoom. We'll do it. fishing boats all along there. That's another thing that Hiroshige Ando would paint in a place like this. You know, there's those. I've seen his prints like that with the sails like that. Although they were different ships, these are motorized boats. They've still got the sails. You can see it. It's like a scene from the Edo period out there. If I hold the camera straight, you can't zoom in. There's sails out there. I feel like I'm having a Hiroshige Ando retrospective party extravaganza here on the beach all by myself with you. So that's what he did. He came out, he ate the fish, he had a great time. He went back to Okitsu, wrote about it, he made sketches when he continued on his way, eventually went back and had a great old time with his publisher and became one of the most famous artists in all of Japan. And for that, I'm going to sign off. Let's see how my camera's doing. Shall we? Look at this. Here it is. It's been running for 1 hour and 9 minutes. I don't know if you can zoom in. 1 hour and 9 minutes it's been filming this scene. I probably just shook it running up like that. And I don't think it got a single image of Mount Fuji in that. But it got the sunrise anyway. So that video was going to go up on the over on the Japan the Mount Fuji videos channel. That'll be a time lapse. You know, it'll all render that 1 hour and 9 minutes down to a minute and a half or something like that. I love that. And then zip and then music and black ending and fade to black. See, I'll better fade to dawn. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Wow, it's going to be a great one. It's the weekend. Yay! Woo! Go home and have breakfast with my family. Hope you have a great one. See ya.